Welcome to the Figure Gore. We are back, and Joe could not make it this evening.
Out because
Oh,
he has
no.
a shoot. He has a photo shoot with Playgirl, and he could not be here today.
Yes, JT
Well,
Cruz.
it's the bigger picture, isn't it?
If it wasn't for that big old honker he has, he would be here. But no, he's got a shoot with.
I'm surprised he has
Playgirl
time for
magazine.
you guys at all.
I know.
Right?
That's right.
We
I don't-
question that so much.
For the record, I don't know Joe at all.
Well, you sound
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our special guest. We have Alex Vincent, who's been part of the Child Play series. I mean, is a fucking horror icon because Child's Play and Chucky will never die. He's in everybody's minds every October. I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights. There's a Chucky house this year. And now there's a TV series, Chucky. And Alex Vincent, our guest, has been a part of all of that. And we, want to tell you how much we appreciate having you on the show.
Well, thank you, dude. Fucking Pondo.
That's right.
You and I have gone back quite a while.
We have. I did a show. Rob and Jamie doesn't know. I did a show one time called No Child's Play. We brought Alex in.
No more Child's Play in West Virginia.
No more Child's Play. No more. See, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Tell him, Alex. I don't even remember.
Pondo, it's in the top 3 most interesting appearances I've ever done in my life. I've done haunted houses. I've done conventions, of course. I've done paranormal events. I've done screenings. But going to a independent wrestling show in Virginia called No More Child's Play. That was a very memorable experience. And listen, I grew up watching wrestling, of course. I'm an 80s kid. It was the coolest thing in the world. And the idea of like doing something at the end of our event in the ring was so appealing to me. And so I went in there and I took 3 back bumps and I said, fuck this. I can't do this at all. I hit my head 3 times in a row.
Oh, no.
And I was like, can I be a manager or some shit? Can I steal the belt from someone at the last moment and run in the background like a little bitch? But yeah, the guys you had out there were very, very tough. And it's one of the only, like, when I was a kid, we'd make wrestling rings and we'd shoot, us wrestling each other. But like, that was one of only maybe 2 or 3 times my whole life that I've been in an
I got to know, what was your wrestling name?
I didn't have a name. We were a bunch of posers. We were who was popular at the time. But
no wrestling name for the matches you guys.
You know what?
No reference.
You know what? I think we did have that. I think we plotted out full episodes that we recorded on VHS that nobody would ever see. But I don't remember. We had some tag teams. We had fun with it. I actually built a ring in my backyard with posts and ropes, but no mat, just the lawn. No, our options were limited. But
here in Louisville, they had this horror convention not too long ago. I think it was last year, Alex, or something. But it was called Fright Fest, and like nobody was at this thing. All the guests just looked so pissed off to be there. So I saw Alex, but I didn't really want to bother him. So
I was at this event, you're saying?
Yeah,
your characterization is a very sad event. I was there.
Rob has it. Rob has the picture. I walked past him, and next thing I know, Alex says, "Hey, Pondo." I was like, "Oh fuck, I didn't know." Not that one. The other one.
Pondo, that was way more than many years ago. Okay,
yeah, this one.
That looks more like me closer to my 40s. It's a little chubbier and a little more defeated.
Well, we
Oh.
have some people that are diehard fans, and I got to get this up real quick. Pam is one of our diehard fans. She said, "Hey everyone, Alex, thanks for coming on the show. It's good to see you on the Figure Gore. Now you will never leave." Mwahaha. But then she also commented,
I'm gonna leave in about 25 minutes.
Yeah. She said his wrestling name was Chuck.
Oh, it's appropriate.
My wrestling name was Chuck. Yeah,
James is here too. Hey James.
it wasn't. At that age, that was around 10 to like 12. And to be
Just so
perfectly
you know,
honest,
me and Pam has a little thing going. Little thing going.
He's engaged to someone else.
Don't roll your eyes, Jamie. You know it's true.
Alex, who was your favorite wrestler when you were watching wrestling growing up?
my mother was a hairdresser, so for a while it was Brutus the Barber Beefcake, actually.
Oh wow.
Okay.
But in retrospect, my real favorites were probably Ultimate Warrior was a favorite. Jake the Snake Roberts was a favorite.
I'm a Jake guy.
I still to this day contest that he was the best actor in the history of wrestling.
Yeah, definitely.
And I told him that in person, which was a real treat. And he was very appreciative. And Sting. Sting was absolutely my favorite. I went and saw so many like WCW Ric Flair versus Sting events in the late 80s and early 90s. I met him when he was the Stinger. And, you know, people ask me all the time, what's your favorite horror movie? What's your favorite movie? If I really had to choose one, which I don't like to do, but if I had to choose one, I would say The Crow. So when Sting came back, oh my God, that's the
Sting mask for The Crow.
That's not even a funny coincidence. You were right on.
You paid $10 for this.
So when Sting came back as The Crow, I was older and hadn't watched wrestling for years. I actually skipped the whole like Attitude Era, but like when Sting came back as the Crow in the rafters haunting the NWA, like NWO, excuse me.
Yeah.
I thought that was the coolest thing. So yeah, if I had to pick one of all time, it's him, and he's been very cool the several times I got to meet him.
He pulled that off so well because there's no word spoken for the longest time.
If you love the sentiment of the Crow, that was so good. It was a character that was felt fucked over by his existence and came back to right the wrongs of the world. What's a better sentiment than that, honestly? So yeah, Sting is my all-time favorite.
And James agrees with you. He goes, I love the movie The Crow. Great revenge movie. It is.
And you know what? There's a film that
I have this too. Sorry, talking about Sting, I forgot it. Got old school Sting here too.
I was lucky to meet him in that old Stinger thing when I was a kid. With what James said, I agree completely. And also I want to offer that sometimes people, like I said, ask me my favorite film. There's another film that I absolutely love, and I love it because of how much I think it's like The Crow. And it's called Man on Fire with Denzel Washington.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Man on Fire.
This is a person who was basically killed, and he's fighting back in these tableau type kills to avenge the death, even though Pita wasn't dead. Spoiler, but like in his perspective, she was. So The Crow and Man on Fire are arguably equally my favorite films of all time, and I feel like they're very, very similar.
I've got to watch Man on Fire. I've seen parts of it, but never
I
watched.
haven't seen it either, so I'm going to check it out. But I've seen The Crow.
Brilliant. It's brilliant. Tony Scott. It's a spectacular film, like completely underrated.
Dr. Stevel is watching as well.
I know the answer to this already because I've heard you answer it, but Randy Edgington wants to know, since you were so young and filming with the Chucky doll running around. Yeah,
Did
yeah.
I have
I
nightmares?
see it.
Yeah.
Did I have nightmares?
No, not that you had nightmares, but he wants to know if you were scared on the set. I've heard this answer twice, but I'll go for a third time. But
Sorry,
just
that is the same question. Absolutely not. I read the entire script. I was a very smart kid. I knew Chris Sarandon was in that film, so I watched Fright Night before filming that.
How old were you, Alex, when you did this?
I was 6.
Okay.
And I kind of taught myself to read on that script. I memorized every line to the point where if someone ad-libbed a little, I was like, no, that's not how you say it. So no, I understood, it sounds almost hard to believe, but at that age, I understood that my goal, what I was hired to do, was to be convincing that this is really scary.
Mhm.
And that made all of it not scary at all.
Oh.
That level of understanding. I'm more scared of Chucky in 2023 than I was.
So let's jump back a little bit where you said you were 6 and you were watching Fright Night.
I was.
You had those same parents.
The first horror film I ever saw. It's the first pair of boobs I ever saw on film. Which
in Fright Night? Whose boobs did you see in Fright Night?
I'm ashamed of you that you don't remember the scene. It was very impactful to me. Charlie is spying on his neighbor, and the topless girl is there.
Oh yeah. I was thinking the chick from Married with Children.
No,
Like
she doesn't show her boobs on that.
Dr. Steve boobies.
Yep. She shows a very scary smile.
Yes.
But no, I was not scared in the least making the film. I understood it, and they also, were cautious to limit the goriest of things. But I was very young, but I have a memory of feeling like defiant, like, no, I can see it all. Stop guarding this from me. What do you think I am, a child?
You're 6 years old.
Yeah.
So then, roughly, how old were you when you finally got to see Child's Play?
Yeah.
6.5, whenever the movie came out.
Oh, you did watch it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to watch it.
I did, of course. We my grandfather rented out a theater in Paramus, New Jersey, and my whole family came, and I was in a tuxedo.
Oh.
I watched the whole film with them. Yeah, I was never guarded from Chucky for good or bad in my life.
Do you remember what you thought the first time? Whoops.
Who's calling you?
I don't know. I don't have any friends.
That's me.
Do you remember the first time you saw the Chucky figure? What did you think?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't remember the first time. I remember thinking that the puppeteers were incredibly cool. Their work was incredibly cool. I would ask to try to, control the doll any way that I could. No, I very much knew not only the intent of the film and scaring people, but that this doll was, you guys didn't see it, but we saw the 7 not to 9 puppeteers that were operating this doll. Right. There was a hole underneath the set. We did, upwards of 30 takes for some of these things, doing the same thing over and over again. Like my perspective was entirely, it was so different from everyone else's perspective that the question, did I have nightmares, is so popular because people can't even really wrap their minds around how different the perspective was.
Well, because
you say 9 puppeteers, was that 9 at all at the same time, or just 9 different?
So now we're down to like 3 or 4 at a time, and also nowadays they can wear green suits and just be in the frame and deleted.
Yeah.
But back then, yeah, there was someone for his facial expressions, there was someone for his arms, someone for his
Oh
hands,
wow.
someone for his legs, someone's for his mouth, someone for everything that he did.
Wow.
All overseen by Kevin Yeager, who don't need to tell you how brilliant he is.
Yeah. This is when puppeteers had to be puppeteers.
Yeah,
You know?
so many of them.
Well, in our franchise, they still are. They still are. People don't understand this, but in the last whatever 4 or 5 incarnations of Chucky, there's been probably less than 10 combined seconds of Chucky CGI
Which I love.
through all of that. We get accused for it because people don't see how amazing these people are at it. They question it. Like for example, in Curse of Chucky, we use some CGI in the advertisements to hide the fact that he still had stitches later on in the show.
Yeah.
In the film. So like, yeah, a frame of that has led to opinions that we use CGI on the doll. And I'm telling you, we really, really don't, unless our backs are up against a wall with like the budget being absurd to do it practically.
Well,
that's really what it comes down to.
Before too, they were limited. Like when you talk in the 80s and early 90s, because they had to be behind a couch or they had to be in the floor. But
Of
now,
course.
like you said, they were a green screen, so they have much more movement to make Chucky look alive.
They look like Green Man from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They're all dressed in green, and yeah, it's really, really cool. It's really cool. The truth is, I think that Chucky in this TV series has looked better than he ever has. I think he looks more realistic. I believe, the ability to show him as a living, breathing thing. I believe it more than ever. And yeah, I really think it's the best work. This TV series, I'm not fishing for compliments, and we've gotten more than I ever expected. It's almost unanimously praised. But as someone who's been with it since I was 6 years old, I am blown away by not only the extensive content. I mean, to get 8 hours or with commercials 7 hours a year compared to 30 years of content. Not only am I impressed by that, but I think Chucky looks amazing, and I think the script is incredibly smart.
It really is. I was very skeptical going into it because a lot of horror movie based TV shows just kind of fall flat. Like I was just telling these guys before you come on, I was so excited about the Friday the 13th series, and then when it came on, there was no guy with a hockey mask or no shit like that. But
Really?
this was well written. It keeps you going the whole time. But knowing that, do you have a cool Jennifer Tilly story? Oh, I see the smile already.
Well, I love Jen, and listen, I know she's an icon. I know we all have a crush on her.
Yes.
Everyone that has ever existed and seen her in either an interview, playing poker, or her film work has a crush on her.
That's right.
But I can say, as someone who has gotten to know her as a friend on a personal level, she's so much better than you could even hope she is. She's the most kind, considerate, generous person, not only with buying dinners, which of course she does, but just generous of spirit. I have friends that I grew up with that take a longer time to text me back than Jen does. And Jen is living an incredible life that
He's
doesn't
busy.
respond to me at all. But it just goes to her character. She's she's a brilliant person. She's incredibly talented, and she's as kind as anyone who loves her could ever hope that she would be.
Excellent. Dr. Stevel here has a really interesting question. It says, Chucky killed WWE superstar Liv Morgan. Were you part of that?
I was not part of that. I talked to Liv before Gianna, before that happened, during, after. What touched me about that was the, you know, I'm sure Liv has lived a blessed life in many ways, but like, how often does a dream come true? You know. So when I knew that was happening for her, I was particularly touched, and that's why I messaged her frequently about the experience, because I know how awesome that must have been. So no, I didn't have a part of it at all. I found out about it as it was already in the works. I didn't meet or ever talk to her, or very honestly, ever even see her work in WWE until I heard about her involvement. But yeah, she's been nothing short of incredibly humble and appreciative, and not the slightest bit of superstardom, which she could very well pull, because she is. None of that. Just all a very humble appreciation that, yeah, I thought was awesome. So
Perfect. And I know you're not fishing for compliments on Chucky, but these guys have some. From Inside the Bunker said, we were lucky to be able to meet Alex during the horror convention circuit last year. Great guy. Love the fact that the TV series continues the mythology from the movies and the story.
Well, thank you.
That
Listen,
can get lost.
listen. I've been doing these appearances since like 2003, and I came into that experience honestly, very honestly, with 10 years of a bit of like resentment to the whole thing, and kind of feeling like I was sick of talking about it, and I appreciated the work that I did, but I downplayed it constantly to myself and to others. And then I started doing conventions, and it really taught me to embrace the fact that it's touched people in some way. Anyone who knows me knows that I am very, very willing to be a huge fan and supportive, excessively supportive of the things that mean something to me. So doing these conventions over all these years, not only have they helped fill me with some confidence in my life that I think is very helpful to me, but it's given me a chance to really appreciate the impact that it's had on so many people. So I thank you for those kind words. But I don't want to say I owe it to you. I owe it to myself to be happy first and foremost. But I get a lot of joy and confidence and comfort in myself over the fact that I have an opportunity to be really, really kind to all of those people that this thing has impacted.
Back in the day,
James even says, circling real quick, the fans appreciate the work you do, Alex.
Thank you.
Back in the day when we first started talking, I remember you being so excited about going and just watching Nine Inch Nails in concert. But now, because you talking about how you appreciate the things that you're a fan of, I remember how excited you was to see Nine Inch Nails. But now I understand that you and Trent Reznor are kind of like cool buddies, and you go backstage and all that.
Pondo. I wish that was true on many levels, but that is not true. No, listen, I don't want to get too much into this, but here's the thing. I just talked about how much Chucky has touched people. Trent has touched people so deeply.
Yeah.
So deeply, and he needs to be protective of himself. And I understand that entirely. I've seen Nine Inch Nails 77 times in concert. I have met Trent a couple times. I am friendly with people very close to him. But I never really had a desire to be like his friend or his buddy. I just really have always had a desire for him to appreciate the fact that I get his music very, very much. It's affected me in ways that have made me think so deeply that it's led me to the place that I am at 42 years old. And I am very, very not only impressed, but appreciating of the artistic stance that he's taken with his music and the integrity that I don't think so many musicians exemplify as much as he does. So yes, I'm an absurd fan of Nine Inch Nails, and I'm a huge fan of his work. But no, we're not buddies, and that's fine.
You do
I
go
never want.
backstage though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've met Trent a couple
I
times.
guess that's where I got that. You was telling me how you would go backstage at Nine Inch Nails. I thought that meant like you and
No, I've met him twice. But every little situation where I've gotten backstage, I fought for as any other fan. Never was it like you're Andy from Chucky, so come on backstage. It was. I swear to God, it was never any of that. You're talking to someone who's waited in line at anywhere from 6 p.m. till 2 a.m. the night before a concert to make sure that I'm Barry or dead center.
There you go.
Yep.
I've never written the band and been like, hey, can I be let in early to beat all the other Nine Inch Nails fans? No. No, I don't take that approach to it. I love our Nine Inch Nails family. I'm very well known among the top 250 Nine Inch Nails fans in the world, and we all love each other. I mean, we all relate. So no, that I'm very, very proud of the work that I've done to get all of the Nine Inch Nails experiences that I've had. And I think that's good advice to anyone, that if you really want a special connection with a band, fucking work for it, man.
Yep.
Right.
If you don't work for it, it's not worth it.
No, it's not. And hey, don't tell everybody you're the biggest fan in the world if you're not willing to put in whatever 2,000 hours that I've spent waiting in line.
So something else I saw, and then I'll get off the subject of that, but I saw a picture of you and Michael C. Hall.
Yes. So
how did that come about?
So listen, he's another person that I have admired very, very deeply for a long time. I mean, since 6 Feet Under. Dexter is one of my favorite shows of all time. I've read all the books. I love the character so much. And then this fucking dude comes out with an incredibly awesome band. There's three of you here. I don't know if any of you have listened to Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum.
Yes, thank you.
His music is not only like great for an actor's band, it's outstanding. Was impactful to me very deeply. And I got a great opportunity to tell him this in person, but as an actor who has been seen as a certain character since I'm 6 years old, I've self-induced insecurity that has pigeonholed me from really pushing myself out there as any of my other artistic abilities, because everybody sees me as Andy Barclay. Everybody sees him as Dexter Morgan, and he went out unscathed by the very vocal consideration of him as that character. That to me is incredibly impressive. It's something that I've not been able to. Not that I can sing as well as him, I can't. But it's held me back in life. So to see him kind of in many ways give zero fucks and go out there and represent himself as an artist in a separate way with full confidence, and also put out an incredible EP, an incredible album. I'm very, very proud of those guys, I have to say. So yes, meeting him at his show and was a thrill for me, and luckily I overcame any fanboy ish to say the things that I thought he deserved to hear from someone who could relate, because honestly, like, Dexter is a traumatized character that is haunted by a monster of sorts, and I feel like Andy is very similar.
No, I can see that. I can see that. Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
So, my buddy Duke, and this might be the last question, but and it's kind of cool that he asked this. Did you see Megan, and what did you think about Megan? Like, did you see any similarities to the Child's Play and Megan?
To be perfectly honest with you guys, I did watch it, but it was one of those, like, you're kind of distracted and you didn't really follow the whole thing. Like, you're kind of like, oh, that seems cool, but you don't really know why, or you know.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't watch it closely enough to really form much of an opinion. The scenes were cool. The aesthetics of the doll are super cool. Never felt any kind of like this is a rip-off thing, or like I didn't feel that at all. I think it's a very different thing. Of course, fans will make the comparison, but
yeah,
it seemed like a very different thing.
There literally is no comparison, because there is not a disembodied soul in Megan. You know,
Right.
That's the core of Chucky.
It's machines gone wrong, which is more Matrix than Chucky. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Real quick, Ardala put in here, you're more than Andy, and your fans will support you no matter what. You're human, and above everything, you should do things that make you happy.
It's a very, very kind thing to say.
Which kind of.
So Alex, do you have anything you got coming up? You want anything you want to promote?
Honestly, the best thing to do is to follow me on Instagram, Alex_Vincent, easy to find. On there is where I do the bulk of my communication about what I'm up to. I've got plenty of conventions coming up. I'll be in Kansas City, Chicago, Ontario, California, Boston, or for Screamfest. Silver Scream out there. I'll be back at Spooky Empire. Bunch of appearances. Without saying anything about my participation, which doesn't really matter. Chucky season 3 is coming out in the fall. I think everybody should watch that. You can go to my Patreon, which I do all kinds of cool stuff, like sit downs with fans and offer behind the scenes footage that nobody ever saw, and poetry, which my new poetry book, Letting Go. Sorry for the glare.
That's okay.
This is
that literally makes me want to buy it more, because that means it's a really cool cover.
Thank you. It's the 6th poetry book that I've self-released.
Wow.
The only way to get it is through my website. You could find links to that in the bio of my Instagram, or go to alexvincentonline.com. I have a recording studio for the last 9 years in Clearwater, Florida. It's now called The Loop, and you can go to The Loop Studios to book any kind of recording or mixing or mastering or audio work session.
So you've been keeping busy.
Well, yeah. Haven't you? What are you doing?
And I also wrote down the final note.
The final note is so I've done 2 podcasts. Both of them are over, and I might do a third different one at some point. But the final note was a live podcast that I did from my studio. I've interviewed all your favorite horror celebrities and guests and actors on that show, along with live music from my studio and a bunch of just ridiculous conversation and maybe even something of significance in terms of my opinion on certain social issues. That's called The Final Note. And then we also did Chucky Talks, where we interviewed everyone from season 1 of the show. I did that with Christina Lease. You can go to chuckytalks.com. You can look that up on YouTube. And The Final Note by me, Alex Vincent, the way you search it, you'll find it. And that's on YouTube and Spotify.
Excellent.
Awesome, man. Hey, man, we appreciate you so much for coming on the show. This has been awesome, and I'm pretty sure that Jamie and Rob and all the fans, you answered everything just as honest as you could, and we appreciate you being on, man.
Thank you so much, dude. Pondo, you've been nice to me for a long time, and I appreciate it. So happy to do it for you guys.
All right, man.
I'll definitely reach out to you come the new year.
Okay, great.
And I'll leave you with this. This is Dr. Stevels. We got your back, Alex.
Oh, he's not so evil after all.
Right?
That's right.
Thank you.
Somebody comes after you. Somebody comes after you. I have a bat with a saw blade on it. Just call me, man.
Call him.
He's in handy. Yes.
All right.
Thanks so much, Alex.
I fight back as good as I can, right?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Man.
You got it. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
And the awkward moment while he finds the exit button.
Right. Yeah. Where the fuck am I? Who am I?
Here.
What happened?
I got you, bud. We'll get you.
Thank
Have
you,
a good
guys.
night.
Yeah.
He thought we was gonna talk shit about him, so he stayed on.
Yeah.
Just in case.
What a good dude, huh?
That guy's amazing. Absolutely.
It surprised me about the poetry. Like he's doing a recording studio. He's doing all these things. And he's in a very popular TV series. So
that's it.
And franchise.
I mean, not only that, from 6 years old,
exactly,
that kid is a horror movie icon. Because, like I said, Chucky will never die. Like he's part of the horror genre that's never going to go away, and Alex Vincent is part of that.
There's my girl.
that shirt in Japan.
Wow.
This is
What's
Rochelle. Yes, Rochelle, I don't know
Yeah.
if you were listening earlier. We had Alex Vincent on, and he was just referencing your movie as one of his favorite.
He loves it.
Yeah.
The Crow.
Yep.
Pondo, is your shirt from Japan? That's what I was asking.
Yes.
No, my mom. My birthday is June 24th, and I went to Florida and visited my parents. And my mom presented me with 5 horror movie T-shirts, and this was one of them.
Coolest
And
mom
I
ever.
already, huh?
Coolest mom ever.
Yeah, and I knew that Alex was coming on the show, so I have not put this shirt on my acid body until this very episode, where it still looked good. Like all my T-shirts, I wear them so much that they have so much wear and tear. But if you can tell, this one is brand spanking fucking new.
The black is black.
That's right. And now I'm gonna wear it in Japan when I go
Yeah.
again. That way, they can tell me what this says. It might say.
Yeah, you know what it says.
Yeah.
It says totally vegan down the side.
It might say this guy's a dickhead, and I just don't know it. So.
What a fanboy right down the side.
Fun of it.
So I sent Robert a couple of things.
Where do you
Hopefully
want me to
Pause while Robert finds the click button to click on one of the.
I got him. Which one do you want?
I don't care. Whichever one's first.
Woo.
There it is. I know Jamie said she was not a fan of X, which she's wrong. I know. But This is the third installment, which filming is done for Maxine, and I believe that will be out in 2024. If you saw X, and then if you sat through Pearl, I was not a huge fan of Pearl. I know Robert was because it was mostly story.
Lot of
But
story.
now the third installment, I got high hopes for it because I think Mia Goth's gonna. I'm not gonna lie. So maybe I wasn't the biggest fan of Pearl, but that does not mean that Mia Goth did not act her fucking ass off in that one.
Pearl
And,
movie. She was so brilliant in Pearl.
Yeah, the whole final scene with her eerie smile and staring at the camera without closing her eyes.
Yep.
That could not have been easy at all.
No.
So it just shows how much Mia Goth puts into her Maxine character, or Pearl. I'm sorry, Pearl and Maxine. She was both.
She does write Pearl. She has a screenwriting credit. Yeah.
Dr. Stevel said Pearl was great.
Yeah.
That's right.
But you're right. You can appreciate acting even in a not so good movie. Because I watched Knock at the Cabin last night, and sadly, I found it very predictable. But that little girl acted her ass off.
Yeah.
Not only that little girl, man. Like, I think that was the best Batista. Well, of course, Drax. Don't get me wrong. Drax will always be Batista.
Yeah.
But as far as not a hero movie, Batista kicked that part's ass, man. Like, he's a big, burly fucking man, but you could tell that you could feel that he was sympathetic, that he had to do what he had to do to save the world. But I thought he acted great.
It was a good
Blade
series.
Runner. I wasn't big on that one. Dune. I wasn't big on him in that one. What's the one with Jodie Foster with the building? I wasn't.
Oh, I saw that, but I can't remember what it's called.
I wasn't big on that one, but man,
Hotel Artemis or something like that.
Yeah, Hotel Artemis. But he kicked that part's ass on Knock at the Cabin.
So I enjoyed Knock at the Cabin for the references they made.
I have to say hi to Emma because I met Emma at the convention CK Expo, and she makes these ridiculous crocheted figures, a lot of horror figures, some fun ones. I got a Star Wars one as a gift. I got a Hannibal one as a gift for someone.
Oh,
She's my go-to person for gifts now. So just shout out to Emma because Emma's super ridiculously talented.
Oh, big time, big time.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what references you mean in there because I'm curious. I didn't see anything like that, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention to that. Because I focus on the story, as Pondo knows.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Emma.
But like, it doesn't mean just because the movie's bad doesn't mean the acting's bad. You're 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, the Four Horsemen. Yes, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, I knew that part going in. So
I had read the book, so I kind of knew.
Oh, and Ardola said, agreed. Emma is best. Summoning something cute is hands
That's
down
her
my go-to.
business.
Yep, summoning something cute.
Yeah. Thanks, Ardola.
She did a really. Oh my god, yeah.
What's the next one to click on?
Yes, it would be
Coming Out. I was such a big fan of the first one, and I think this is also 2024, which I regret. I wish it was 2023. I have watched. I am terrible at watching. I'll watch something and then put it down and never watch it again. But I have watched the Wednesday series twice, so I am very excited about Wednesday season 2. And it looks like it has all the original characters. I've seen interviews and little clips from all the old characters from season 1. So be looking out for Wednesday season 2.
Absolutely.
Before we go further, I wanted to do another shout out. There's this great show named From, and I've talked about it on here. And someone we know or that has been at CK Expo has been in Scare House, such a great movie. Sarah Booth. It wasn't this last week. They're always on Sundays. It was the Sunday previous that she was on there, and I'm such a big fan of the show. And then Rob texted us say Sarah Booth has a role on this, so it just was so cool to be like, oh, I've met her, and it's a Canadian film show. It's scary. There's one more episode left for season 2, so highly recommend From.
I do want to watch it.
You have to. It's so good.
Oh, Emma said From is awesome.
Emma knows that's good taste.
Okay, next one. You ready, Pondo?
I'm ready.
How about this one?
Ooh.
Went and watched The Boogeyman. We talked about this, how bad I hate jump scare movies.
Yeah.
But this one was, yes, it did have some jump scares, but I didn't hate this movie. I thought it was pretty good. I don't want to spoil nothing. I don't think I am. I think even the trailer shows something, but the Boogeyman himself was really cool looking.
Cool.
The actors all did a really good job. I think it only lasts about an hour and 45. Therefore, it doesn't oversaturate the story of what's going on. So, yeah, check out The Boogeyman. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I thought The Boogeyman was pretty fucking good. And you guys know how I am about jump scare movies, but
Yeah.
that's what this is. But it was a good one. It was a good jump scare.
I love the tagline right across the top. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. It's like, that's perfect.
And that's
what you'd be saying. That's what you'd be saying if you was a child in bed.
Yep.
Staring at your closet like it's not real. It's not real. It's not real.
Dude, I have done that when I was young. You know, the trees shadow in a certain way, you know, and it's like, yeah, I've done that.
You guys remember the Disney version of The Boogeyman and Bride of Boogedy? Did you guys see those? I remember watching it in Canada every Sunday. They had
Sorry, Jamie, I'm an adult.
When I was a child, every Sunday, the world of Disney, and I was terrified of that movie. That was one of the, and then I watch it now because it's on the Disney Plus. And I'm like, oh, it was really lame. But at the time, I thought it was very scary.
That back in the day, you could say that. Oh, I don't watch Disney because I'm an adult. But now, if you don't watch Disney, you don't get to see The Mandalorian or.
Dude, yeah, you're limited to like 20% of the entertainment out there.
So now I'm a Disney guy.
There you go. You're a Disney princess.
Wonder if this one's Disney.
The first one I really liked a lot.
I did too.
And this one didn't disappoint me either. Lulu Wilson is back as her character Becky, and I wasn't too sure about this one going in because you know how sequels are. This one's just as good as the other one, and I can't remember his name. What's Stifler's name?
Sean
William Scott.
So the other one had Kevin James. This one has him as the main bad dude. And this girl's only 16 years old. Like legit, the actor is only 16 years old. So she's got a very bright future just out of these 2 movies already. And she's very convincing that she's a badass. She looked like she was a badass at 14 years old. And now she looks like an even bigger badass at 16 years old. I am looking forward. I hope they keep this Becky series going and she just keeps killing evil people.
And she's got a crossbow.
Yeah, this one she has a crossbow.
That's so cool.
Okay, I might have to watch this. I haven't watched Becky.
Did you see the first one, Rob?
No.
Oh, you got to watch it, Rob. No? It's good. So good.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it right after I watch The Greasy Strangler.
No, skip The Greasy Strangler.
No, don't skip The Greasy Strangler. Jamie is lying to you. Listen, if you love Becky was my go-to movie. Why?
Well, she spends a lot of time crocheting. Yeah.
But
What was the first one called, Steve? It was called Becky.
Becky.
Yeah. It's Becky.
That's why this is Wrath of Becky.
Becky.
Kind of like, the first Star Trek movie was called Khan. And then the second one was called The Wrath of Khan.
Really? Right? The first Star Trek movie was called Khan?
No, I'm totally bullshitting there. It just it helped my story.
You had me going.
I knew it wasn't.
What's a Star Wars fan like you doing talking about Star Trek on this motherfucker
right?
Anyway?
That should have been a clue right there, Pondo.
Hell yeah. This one I just watched again last night.
I haven't
was-
heard this one.
Okay, so it's a parody, kind of a parody movie.
Okay.
I mean, you can tell by all the characters. You can look at all the characters, and the tagline is "We can't all die first." All right, so it's not a serious movie, but it came off pretty good. Like my friend was asking me about it, and I'm like, well, let's just go watch it. And
Yeah.
he thought just as much as I did. There's so many good one-liners in this. It started off with two of the characters from Saturday Night Live, and they're not in the movie after that. It's all these guys right here. But if you like comedy horror, this one came off pretty good.
I love comedy horror if it's done right.
Yeah. There's a fine line. It can be really bad or just perfect.
So let me ask you something. Since you said that, did you guys ever see the movie Saturday the 14th?
I have not, but I
Oh.
know what it is.
Way back.
Yeah, I hated that movie. Everybody was like, "Oh, that was so funny," and no, I thought that was the dumbest shit ever.
Wait.
Something winning endorsement.
I got one poster left here, Pondo.
All
Uh-oh.
right. Oh, all right. Let me go on about this piece of horse shit right here.
This is not a comedy horror.
Hey, but you know what? I do have a compliment about Hereditary. You ready?
What?
Yes.
Yeah. It's so much better than Skinamarink.
There we go.
Skinamarink, what a piece of shit.
I didn't watch Skinamarink, but I watched Pondo's version.
Yeah, my version was 19 minutes of the movie Skinamarink, 19 seconds of the movie Skinamarink, and there was another one called Envy's Men.
Never heard of that one.
No.
We kept saying Envy's Men, but no, it's ENYS, Envy's Men.
Okay.
Same fucking art movie horse shit. So terrible to sit through. I'm pretty sure I had another, but how about that? I have a compliment about Hereditary. All the
I never thought I'd see the day.
I'm shocked. I am. But it just shows you how bad Skinamarink is when I show him a picture of Hereditary and he still insults Skinamarink.
So terrible.
I didn't bother watching because Pondo was like, "Don't, just don't."
I mean, me and you and Robert sometimes do have different opinions on movies. There is no way your opinion is going to be, "Oh, that Skinamarink was a masterpiece." It is a piece of turd. It is the worst shit.
There have been 2 movies in existence that I've ever not completed.
Which ones?
Birdemic.
Oh, even I finished that.
What was it called?
Birdemic.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's so bad.
Birdemic 3 is coming out, okay?
Oh. I didn't see part 2.
But part 2 has zombies. Let's just throw that out there.
Okay.
But Birdemic, I got halfway through. Cam's making me watch it, and I got halfway through. I said, "No, I'm done," and I shut it off. And
I'm
this
gonna
is
say
another-
Cam told me how much he loves that movie when I met him, so that's so
Yep.
funny. It's horrible effects, low budget, just bad. It's about these attacking birds, but the birds are not real, and they're not very good effects of what the birds are.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What was the other one, Robert? What was the other one you didn't finish?
Skinamarink.
Oh, gotcha.
Did you try that one? You tried watching it, Rob?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
You can't make it through this. I paid a ticket. That's why I sat through the damn thing.
And
that way I could talk. I sat through it so I could talk more shit about it.
And he made his own 19-second version.
Yeah. And got kicked off of Facebook because not kicked off, but banned.
Facebook.
Every time I would see somebody put some horse shit about what a masterpiece it was, I would send them my 19-second clip and say, "All right, tell me what you think about this one." And somebody reported me, and Facebook banned me there for a bit. But
it wasn't me because I love
that. Think about that. If if I'm making a movie just like the one that they're saying is a masterpiece, and they tell Facebook that I'm a piece of shit for that, there's a reason that's so.
Yep.
I was also I forgot to send Robert the poster, but somebody tipped me to another Serbian film style movie, Salo, 120 Days of Sodom.
Yeah.
Very difficult to watch movie. It's called Megan is Missing.
Oh, I saw that.
You saw it? So the last 20 minutes didn't disturb the shit out of you?
They did, but I think the other two are way more disturbing that you referenced.
Yeah, but this is on the same wavelength of sitting on the crapper and a scene will hit you in the head and you'll be like, get out of there,
Sure. I wouldn't describe it that way, but yeah. It's very realistic and it's very hard to watch. But for me, it was much harder to watch a Serbian film and the Salo or 120 Days of Sodom, whatever you want to call it. But yeah. Shh, you can hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you listen real close.
But I also think Megan is a good movie. Like, it's got a good message and it's very realistic. That's why it's kind of so disturbing and so scary.
I think that was that's it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's gonna leave you shaking.
I won't spoil a thing, but okay. So, did you like Serbian film, Rob? I know that's a very loose question, but you appreciate that Serbian film was a well-made movie, correct?
I do, because it surprised me with all the talk on it. I didn't expect to be as solid a film as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Well, the only difference between Megan is Missing and Serbian film is Megan is Missing is all about that last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That last 20 minutes is like fucked up from the floor up.
Mm-hmm.
Serbian film, you hear that it's a fucked up film, and one thing happens, you go, "Oh my god, that's got to be what they're talking about."
No,
then something else happens, and you're like, "Oh shit, that's got to be what they're talking about." Then something else happens, like, "Oh fuck, that's got to be what they're talking about." But Megan
then
is
there's the ending, and you're like, "Is this finally over?"
But Megan is Missing is all about that final 20 minutes that is very disturbing.
It is, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna watch it. You got me.
All right.
I gotta find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good movie, and it is just very shocking at the end.
Yeah.
And just before we wrap up, I want to play a small game.
Okay.
It's a picture, and it's like Duck Hunt or Birdemic. You tell me.
Ooh, Birdemic.
Right?
Oh my god, that's what the birds look like in the movie.
Yes, it is.
That one has digitally disappeared in the middle.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Literally, all it is their wings go up and down.
They don't resemble birds at all. Yeah.
This is the birds.
Yep, and this is the dude swinging, I think, a coat hanger or something to make them go away.
Well, coat hangers can be very dangerous.
Oh yeah.
What about the zombies? What did they look like in part 2?
They weren't too bad, but it was makeup on people. It wasn't CGI.
Oh, they used actual people. Wow.
Yeah, that's the easy part.
I didn't bother with part 2, and I won't bother with part 3 because I sat through part 1.
Exactly.
Just to let everybody know, Joe Tong will probably be with us next time. This time, if you're just joining in, Joe Tong had a photo shoot with Playgirl and could not be here today. Joe Tong.
We'll see if we can't get some of those behind the scenes photos.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I wanted Alex to tell me his wrestling name. I was going to make a graphic of JT Cruz versus whatever Alex Vincent's wrestling name was.
Right?
How you going to, dude, back in the day, I never backyard wrestled. But me and my cousins, because we would go to wrestling all the time, I was always a moondog. So how are you gonna?
Love it.
How are you always gonna wrestle in your backyard but not remember the name that you was using?
Maybe he didn't want.
Did you guys wrestle with the other kids when you were smaller?
I would try to wrestle with my dad and my brother, but they'd always be like, because I was a girl, they'd be like, "You can be the referee."
Wow, so you was referee Jamie.
Yeah, I didn't get a cool wrestling name because most of the time I had to be the ref.
Rob, you didn't have a cool wrestling name back in the day?
1 second, because I found an image from Birdemic 3.
Oh no!
Oh, from 3.
Yes. And it does not look like things have improved.
Oh.
So they went from zombies back to the birds, or the birds are in part 2 as well?
Well, see, number 1 is called Birdemic. Number 2 is called Shock and Terror. And then the third one's called Sea Eagle. So
Sea Eagle.
Yeah. I don't know what that means. So
Pondo, I think you should watch Birdemic 1, and we need a review of that.
Oh, yes.
How do you spell this? V-E-R?
Yeah.
I-R-D. And then
E-M-I-C.
You're the editor. Yeah, you tell him spelling.
Birdemic.
I'm sure you could find it
Much
on
better.
YouTube or something like that.
Okay, so give Birdemic a compliment. Which one was better, Birdemic or Skinamarink?
Oh, Birdemic or Skinamarink?
Oh, this is okay.
You're about to give Birdemic a much better review just by. No way can it be Skinamarink. I still don't know what I saw in Skinamarink, and I watched the whole damn thing.
Oh, okay. So sorry, I was wrong. Birdemic, they've relabeled as Birdemic Shock and Terror. And then Birdemic 2 is called The Resurrection. And both of them are on Tubi.
Yeah, they got to be on Tubi. Tubi has everything.
I will sit through this terrible hunk of shit that you guys have challenged me to do.
That's for the Greasy Strangler.
Hey. You got to admit, since you've watched Greasy Strangler, Jamie, have you not made a bunch of references from it?
Yeah, but it still.
Don't lie now. Have you made any
of old man penis in that movie?
All right. Have you made any Birdemic references?
Only to Cam.
No. I mean, even
he's got a point.
Even Shark Exorcist. You and Marty run around talking about, bitch, I got church. You know, I mean. So Greasy Strangler, Shark Exorcist, not so bad.
Classics.
Hit 'em a ring. Birdemic, total horseshit. But
I don't think we're gonna have fun with Birdemic. I don't think there's as much.
Oh yeah.
All right. I you know what? I will get on it tonight. I will.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How long does this fucking masterpiece last?
Oh, it feels like days.
Yeah, she's right. It feels like days.
It feels never. It's like the never-ending story with birds.
Let's see here. Or 1 hour and 33 minutes.
But it feels like 7.
I can do that. I've sat through worse for 1 hour and 30. You know, I had a vasectomy that lasted that long. So,
do you know what's weird? I just realized
this will be worse.
I shut off Birdemic, but I watched all of Birdemic too.
Oh.
Ardola says Shark Exorcist. Nope, no thank you. Oh, it's fun.
Well, you got to watch our episode on it.
You have to. Yeah. You know what? I need to check, but I remember, Jamie, didn't you send me a poster for Shark Exorcist 2 coming out or being made? Somebody, one of you guys did send me the thing for.
Let's find out here.
I sent for the Cocaine Raccoon movie.
Oh, maybe that was it. And now they have Meth Shark.
Marty or Pondo's review of Shark Exorcist was so intriguing that Marty watched Shark Exorcist. And my husband doesn't like horror movies, and I have not seen Shark Exorcist. So,
well, if you go into the frame of mind that Pondo did a review of your movie, anything can be good, except Skinamarink.
and Birdemic.
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I can't say that.
Shark.
There it is. Shark Exorcist 2.
It does exist.
Does it have a release date?
Let me see here.
Oh, look, it's the nun that was only in 2 scenes.
He's now on the poster.
Let's see here. Shark Exorcist 2. It's in pre-production.
There'll be a review of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got to do a review of Shark Exorcist 2.
Oh, there's a character in here.
That's why you guys started liking me so much, because I did a review of Shark Exorcist 2.
Because you watched it, so we didn't have to.
There is an actress named Tina Vasile, and she plays a reporter. I wonder if it's the same one.
Yeah, the one that wouldn't even.
Yep, that one. Gotta be her.
So what happened to the? Hey, bitch, the camera's over here.
The first thing you learn
over here, please.
To look at the camera.
One of those scenes was behind her back. Remember that? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yes.
Classic.
Let me see. Ardola says, I need a horror buddy that I can scream into their shoulder. Oh, you won't need it for this. Okay. I was playing Raft and I was screaming every time the shark destroyed my raft. Okay, maybe you do. Sorry. Take that back.
Shark Exorcist and Santa Jaws are not super scary, just funny.
If you scream during Shark Exorcist, it'll be you telling who's ever nearest to the TV, shut that shit off!
Now!
Or what was it called? Santa Shark? No.
Santa Jaws.
No,
Santa
Jaws.
That's it. Another classic.
The stupid Santa hat on the fin. So great. Tubi is just the gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly.
That's right. I love Tubi.
So do I. My favorite that I watched at Christmas time was this. It was a killer Christmas tree one. And it was actually really well made, except for the Christmas tree was kind of shit. But the actors gave it their all, and it's not a very long movie, but it was hysterical.
Oh, that's awesome. All right.
Didn't I give you guys a project to watch for this episode? I can't remember what I told you guys to watch. But anyway, we'll do it next time because we're already way over time.
We obviously did.
Yeah, you guys don't pay attention to me for shit. I get it.
But tell us to watch. I don't recall.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'll have to go back and watch the last episode so I can remember what I told you.
Okay.
But as always, reach out to your friends and families. Make sure they know they're appreciated. Don't let anybody sit around having hard times wishing somebody would reach out. Be the one that reaches out.
Good words.
Oh,
see everybody.
I'm sorry. Was you guys waiting on me to click on something?
No. I just wanted to make sure I didn't cut you off.
Yeah, we were listening.
No.
Have a great night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.